come out the gate swinging. But before I really take that first hit, I do want to just kind of preface this. We're on episode 7 of In Another World with my smartphone, and in no way, shape, or form does anything I say kind of dismiss the love I have for this anime. I've been waiting for this anime now for 6 years, as you guys have been along the journey with me so far. And you know, this is one of my guilty pleasures. This is some of the popcorn animes, junk food anime as I call it. And I absolutely love it, and I can't wait to rewatch this multiple times. In Another World with my smartphone, this, along with a couple of other animes, has been in traditionally in my yearly rotation of animes that I just watch when I'm playing the Switch or something, and I just kind of put it in the background and I rewatch it over and over, sometimes even a couple of times a year. And now the good thing with Another World with my smartphone is season 2 is good enough to kind of like rewatch 1 and then rewatch 2 again. Now, with all that being said, out the way, there are some like very specific nitpicks that I have about episode 7 in specific. One that excited me and then let me down, and then the other thing is just something that is in a similar vein or a similar essence as some of the things I've been talking about over the last few weeks with smartphone anime here. So first and foremost, episode starts off with a really fire moment, and it wasn't a dream. Toya wakes up with Yumina. Okay, so Yumina is in Toya's bed. That gets 2 thumbs up for me. You know, Yumina is my favorite character. I love her. I think she's the best character in the anime by far. Next one would be Fairy Girl, and then after her, it kind of like my position kind of like switches, kind of depending on my feelings. But like Yumina is my favorite, and I'm glad that she is so bold and she does push. But anyways, he woke up with Yumina, and I literally wrote this down word for word. I wrote down this statement. I wrote, "Wow, he didn't freak out or have a hissy fit. Is Toya finally, growing as a character?" Immediately, I was so disappointed following like 30 seconds after, because after he's like, "Oh, I could wake up like this every day," and everything, I was like, "Damn, let's get it, Toya. Finally, we're growing a pair. Like, finally, our boys' balls dropped here." But no, that's not what happened at all. He actually ended up throwing a hissy fit and overreacted, and he had his very Toya moment, and it literally disappointed me and brought me back down. It's like he has a permanent chastity belt on at all times and just like kind of like refuses to give it away. And it's just literally one of the most annoying things, especially when you have like a harem anime like this. It's like, of course, we don't need him to swing the pendulum the opposite side and go, redo healer type things. But I just think that like these little moments that he's sharing with these girls that he does plan to marry and all this stuff, like it just needs to kind of be more realistic. Like, I understand, the whole Japanese men are very conservative type thing, but it's like not to this level, dude. It's like it's like there's an outside being protecting his virginity here. It's kind of a little bit, I guess, a little nauseating at times, and that's probably one of the most biggest detriments to the show. Is that I think they just kind of, there's 2 pendulums, and you have virgin here and redo healer here. And I just think it's like up against the wall and just completely like attached, and it's almost like trying to remove like the sword from the top of the hill or whatever. Like, it is like it's immovable. Regardless, that's my biggest gripe, and it'll continue to be my biggest gripe with the anime. And hopefully, this episode, he actually gained another one of the girls. Sue finally joins the harem, which I've been waiting for Sue to join the harem, because ever since she was introduced originally, she definitely had her eyes on Toya, and she's finally able to make that a reality. The good thing is it's him saving her for somebody, so that's kind of a good story plot. The next thing here is we got another robot girl added to the mix, another administrator. This one is the robot girl, Fred Monica, or just Monica for short. She is the admin of the storehouse, so he finally got access to the storehouse, so that is 2 thumbs up there. And he's actually able to get access to the frame gears, which he's been looking for a while. Now, to pilot the frame gear, they need ether, which is kind of like gasoline for robots. It's an ether liquid, and they didn't have it on hand. But one of the other girls, is it Rebecca? No, I forget which one of them, but one of the other admins could produce this for him. But they need ether crystals to be able to do it. Well, ether crystals in this world are actually the spell stones that the girls basically, if you remember the original episode when Toya's like, "Oh, touch the spell stone," that's how you use it to kind of do water bullet and stuff like that. Like, that's the stuff that they ended up needing here. And we find out that these stones are extremely expensive, and typically they don't go past like this small size. And if they need like a big chunk of it, they're looking to spend, a small country's fortune on this. Well, thankfully, one of the girls, I don't remember which one, I don't remember which girl it was, but one of the girls was like, "Hey, use your smartphone, dude, and let's go find them. Find them. Let's go, dig them up ourselves." And which one was it? Which was it? Yai? It might have been Yai. Anyways, one of them was like, "Let's go, dig them up ourselves." So they do that. So that's where my second complaint is. This episode is, we literally, I feel like they went on an adventure to go and get the ether crystals, but we skip over completely. It's like, okay, we're in the storehouse saying, "Hey, use your smartphone." He goes, "Boop, boop, boop." There it is. And then we immediately skip to a scene where he's bringing back this really big ass stone to Monica or to one of the admin girls. And I feel like we skipped over a ton of stuff there, like them actually going and finding the ether and finding the crystal and bringing it back and all of it. Like, I feel like we just skipped over like a really big portion of an adventure that we could have had with them. Now, again, part of it is because I feel like we're in season 2 of an anime that was dormant for 6 years. I feel like they're trying to move the pace along, pretty quickly here and stuff. But, ultimately, it's like I really hope in the future we get like an OVA of like a really cool little adventure of them getting the crystal. Because I just felt like we skipped over a big thing that could have been enjoyable to watch, of them going out on an adventure and getting these ether crystals. Now, for those who are familiar with the source material, let me know in the comments down below. Is this something that in the manga or light novel or whatever, is it something that they kind of had a good, a storyline to them getting the ether crystal for the frame gear? So let me know in the comments down below. So anyways, they get that. One of the admins, puts together a VR simulator, and he has a bunch of different VR simulators to basically simulate himself getting familiarized with the frame gear. So before they actually take it out, they can kind of like have an idea of how to control these things. He duplicates that for all the girls, and he's going to duplicate that for his city. So he can basically have an army of these frame gears to protect not only his nation against other nations, making him probably the most powerful nation, but then also that way it can, kind of like protect his nation and the world from these phrases in the future, which is going to be very interesting. Now, last part, I already touched on this a little bit ago, but we have Sue and her marriage proposal, and basically begging Toya to marry her, which was her goal in the beginning, regardless. But apparently, she received a marriage proposal from a prince of another country, and apparently this prince is a womanizer and has a bunch of different problems. And he's an older dude, and he wants to marry her ASAP. This is going to cause diplomatic frustration if they say no, but she begs Toya, and he's like, I'm not going to give you away or let you go to somebody that has these types of issues. So he goes to the Duke, her dad, and says, "What can we do?" We find out that in that specific country, the king is just a figurehead. It's actually ran by the prime minister, and there's a second child there who could be, a better prince or something, but he's the son of a concubine. And there's a whole storyline going on there. But regardless, he's going to marry Sue. He did get permission from dad. He did get, permission to kind of like go tell this other country, absolutely not. Whatever friction it ends up causing, he's going to kind of take that at the head. Episode officially ends. So the whole thing with Sue, thumbs up. Finally, we got the other girl. I think at this point, we have 2 left. We have a pink hair elf girl, and we have like some night girl. So there's 2 left. Well, I guess if you count our fairy girl, Leanne or whatever, or Lee, whatever her name is. If you count her, we technically have 3 left, but we know that she's going to be one already. The ones that we haven't met is like a pink hair girl, pink hair elf girl, and then like some blonde night girl. So there's going to be officially 2 left, 3 if you count our fairy girl. And then the episode ends with apparently they sent that specific country sent a representative to go and accept, or whatever the case is. That representative ended up being the prince. So I feel like we actually have a really good storyline, kind of like in waiting for us here to come up. So really good episode overall. Just a couple of really specific nitpicks that kind of does take my enjoyment down a little bit, but overall, again, I'm just so happy that this anime is back, and I'm going to continue to be happy about that. But you can't do it without being able to criticize something that you like, which is exactly what I'm doing. All right, let me know what you guys thought about episode number 7 in the comments below. I'll see you, my friends, next week for episode number 8. All right, peace.